Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. We are going to go ahead and do a Polygon gameplay review for Synergy Land. This is a game that's not necessarily out yet, but they did a quick 3-day public play test over this past weekend. So I wanted to go ahead and do a video on it because this is one that I'm actually pretty excited about. It is a multiplayer action RPG game. Which allows you to also go ahead and craft and farm and have your own land. And it obviously has the NFT connection. And just as I mentioned, it's on the Polygon network. So what we're going to do is quickly go through the website. Then I'll go ahead and show you the actual gameplay itself, run you around, show you the different areas, at least the play test areas that I've been able to test so far. Granted, the live game is going to have a whole lot more than this. So please understand that as you watch it, but it gives you a feel for the game. So what is Synergy Land? It is a multiplayer action RPG game where you're going to be able to go ahead and do a lot of the battling. You have your own farm as far as your quote-unquote private land where you can plant, you can build different structures as far as blacksmith, a kitchen and things like that. Have your own garden, be able to mine and do different things like that. Have your own questing area and storage area. So that's neat. So you have your personal space plus the adventuring space. And like I said, there's going to be PvP and PvE in here. And I do have to say, at least initially, the fighting style reminds me a lot of Diablo. I haven't really got a ton into that. That's just basically from watching some of the videos that they have. So I haven't had a chance to do the battling yet. But just the feel I got from it was very Diablo style overhead view, very slasher style game. But more to come with that. They also have pets that come around with you, digital assets, which is obvious. Anything with Web 3.0 is going to have some sort of digital asset. The one thing I did want to note, like most games on Polygon, this is not a web client game. This is actually a downloadable client, so you will need Windows in order to use it, plus a download, so you certain level of trust that's there. Also, I wanted to mention, and just a normal disclaimer before I jump into the game, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before you jump into any game. Don't take my word for any sort of expert advice. I'm just a gamer playing some games and making videos while I do it. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to jump over. Again, if you're here, you can go ahead and download the client there, the next playtest. Hopefully you had a chance to go ahead and test this. If you didn't, then you get to go ahead and see me play it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the game itself. All right, we are coming in here. When you first come into the game, there's this great cinematic type of mini movie that they have here. Kind of takes you around the different areas. It just gives you kind of a view. The art style's neat. It reminds me quite a bit of another game that we may know, World of Warcraft, as far as the art style goes. But let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to hit escape. When you go ahead and play, you can watch this whole thing. But we'll run around the world. You do have to sign up for an account when you first log in there. So make sure you're aware of that. Username, password, all that fun stuff. All right, once you are signed up, this is what it's going to look like. Initially, let me take a step back. When you first sign up, you're actually going to start out over here at the beginning of this little area. And then that guy that we were just looking at, the storekeeper, is going to kind of introduce you and say, welcome to the neighborhood. Come on over to the shop for some quests. And that's going to be your main spot for questing. Just so you're aware, it is a clicker. As you can see, I'm clicking and going to certain spots. And then he is going to be your shop owner. He's going to give you the quests. He's going to do a whole bunch of different things. Right now, I am running a few quests, which we'll go ahead and do together. You have a large area around here. There's different plots that you can go ahead and use. As you can see, the map up here on the top right, that's going to be your main map for this. Right underneath that is the quest tracker. And then I wish they had a little more of the buttons around, so I'm still trying to figure out some of the other buttons. But tab will go ahead and open your inventory so you can check your main items, your artifacts, and quest items, which aren't available right now. And then when you go around, you use the right click to move to different spots. And then the left click is interact with different things. So when you start out the game, you basically have just this giant plot of land. The quester will go ahead and take you through a number of quests as far as setting up your first farm, and then send you over here to go ahead and set up a blacksmith and a lumber mill, which are all things that you can go ahead and set up. As you can see in the top here, there's plots of land, and you can kind of organize it any way that you want. And the questor kind of gives you the items. I don't know if that's going to be the way the actual game goes, but for the playtest, I think they're trying to give you some as much of the items as possible. You start off with really simple quests. For example, set down a farm plot, and then plant a few of the items, which is these trees here. They'll grow pretty quickly, and then you go ahead and right click them to cut them down. At least it gives you the option to cut them down. When you cut them down, it's going to give you soft wood, maybe some seeds. In this case, it gave me a seed, soft wood, log, and some resin. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of these. And shortcut is F if you don't want to click on everything. And this is actually part of the quest line here. As you can see, I have to collect softwood logs to go ahead and finish this quest off, which we're going to go ahead and cut all these down. Maybe we'll plant a few more just to keep them going, since I am getting some saplings, I guess we'll call them. I think I called them seeds earlier. So we'll go ahead and cut down the rest of these. And this is a resource management style game where you're actually managing your own area of resources. And there we go. We got the last one cut down, and I have 4 saplings. So I'm going to go ahead and click on tab. My saplings are right here. I'm going to go ahead and right click them and go ahead and just plot them down. They take about 20 minutes to grow, and then I'll be able to go ahead and cut them down some more. I can get more saplings from him, but as you can see now, I did complete the quest. You see the typical question mark, yellow question mark on top. Question mark means the task is done. Exclamation point means that there's a new quest that you can go ahead and do. So we'll go ahead and click on him. Click on the quest. You can see I finished it here. He's going to give me my reward, so I'm going to actually be able to go ahead and plant some other seeds and items. So click on complete, and usually when you complete, there is another quest for you here. You see these are the ones available. These are the ones I'm actually working on right now, so we'll go over to these in a second. We'll go ahead and click on that. The next one is to plant a whole bunch of vegetables and grow those and pick those, and then it's going to give me a common livestock. So I'll be able to do some chickens after this. So I hit accept. I'm going to run back over to my fields, and let's hit tab, and let's start planting some stuff. We'll start with carrots. You can go ahead and plant a bunch of those. So I'm going to go ahead. I have 5 of those. So let's then do the next one, which is going to be some potatoes. Do a bunch of those. Just trying to get this filled up. And then last but not least, we have some of the garlic. I think that's, yeah, last but not least. So we'll go ahead and plant those. And if you want to check on these, see how much time that they have left, you can go ahead and click on them. And it gives you a nice little banner, which is 15 minutes for this one to complete. Show you some other things. And when it's ready to harvest, you just click the F. It's a lot of these are showing that there's energy that goes along with them. I haven't been able to figure out as far as the bar goes. I think eventually, once we're out of the playtest, there will be a bar that you're only allowed to use a certain amount of energy until you can go ahead and eat or do something to refill them. But it looks like all these vegetables are 15 minutes. So while we're waiting for those to go ahead and grow, we're going to run back over here, because over in the blacksmith, I actually have a saw being crafted, and I think it is done. So you see the blacksmith right here. You'll see the exclamation point letting me know that my item that I was crafting is done, and I can go ahead and grab it. So I went ahead and I left clicked on her or him. Yeah, it's a her, sorry. Boop. And you can see that my saw is complete here, so I can go ahead and collect it. And now it's in my inventory, and I can go ahead and I can do other stuff here. If just taking a look through the menu here from the blacksmith, you have 3 options. You have the process, which is like the basic smelting stuff, where you have, if you have ore, you can go ahead and turn it into ingots. If you have sand, you can go ahead and turn it into glass, and so forth down the road. And this gets leveled up as you're progressing through. You can take those materials and go into the crafting tab, where I made the saw from the materials. And then eventually there's going to be a learning tab where you can get recipes and go ahead and learn different recipes. It's not available yet. You can demolish this, which we're not going to do now, but it is one of the quests when you initially start the game to go ahead and demolish. It gives you full resources back. And then this is for the crafting menu. Right now I can only craft one thing at a time. As I level up, I'll be able to craft more items, or at least put a queue together to craft more items at one time. So now that I have the saw, what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and close out here, and can see I have to craft sawdust 50 from the sawmill, which my sawmill is over here. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that. Go ahead to this guy, and you go ahead and left click, and you can see that I have some planks. But if I click over to the craft, I have sawdust, which is basically I'm just cutting through some wood. I have wood, I have my saw, and I need 50 of those. So I will not have, oh yeah, I will. So I'll go ahead and be able to do, so basically one log and the saw that which will be used by all of them turns into 10 sawdust. So let's go ahead and do one at a time. One takes 4 because I only have one saw. It's going through the crafting process where I can do one at a time. So in 4 minutes, I'll be able to come back and collect those, do that 5 times, and it'll complete that task, which is great, and we'll continue to move forward. And you can see I have some more question here. We're not going to spend too much more time on that. I'll do that on the side, but I wanted to show you the crafting and the questing and the planning. And then there's another area that's up here as far as you can get some pets and basically a companion. If you see on the map here, you're going to go ahead and see an area that has a whole bunch of nests. As far as one of the initial quests goes, you're going to be able to go through the process of doing this. You can see that right now, if you click on this egg that I have going, it looks like I need heat. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the heater, and I'll go ahead and have to add, and I don't have any of these items. So we're going to have to go ahead and just take a look at what I could use, or wet soil, interesting, to get some of the heater. So right now the egg is too cold to really produce, so I'm going to have to go find to get some of these ingredients and heat it up so it will basically produce the animal. The one caveat I don't like about the playtest is this egg is going to take 7 days to go ahead and hatch. Playtest is only 3 days. So I will not get to the point where this egg hatches and be able to use it. So I'm probably going to ignore it. But I wanted to kind of take a look at it. Like I said, there is a quest early in the whole quest line that shows you how to do it and goes through it a whole lot faster. So you actually see the whole process as you go through, and then you give that pet or that companion over to the seller. I'm sorry, the shop owner. So this is a brand new one. So I just don't have enough time to go ahead through the process to hatch that. There are some other things that are here that's coming soon, but these things are scattered all over. Basically a chest or storage, very convenient, which is nice. So you don't always have to run all the way back down to the shop area to go ahead and use a storage. They're everywhere. So I can go ahead, if this gets full, and there's a lot of storage in here, which is crazy. I can go ahead and just move items into here and then go pick it up at a different spot, the area that I may need it. So I like that aspect. I like that you can go ahead and really access the storage anywhere. If you continue to run around the area, they have the next area blocked off. So this playtest is really only focused on the farming and the questing in the farm. But the one thing that you will notice is, like I said, it's huge. It's a huge farm area. It's actually a lot bigger than I expected. But there's also a lot of other plots that are around, and you can see there's another chest up here to make it easier. So you can go ahead and grab that. So you have all these different areas to go ahead and work with. So you can make a ginormous little, I guess, I want to call it a village. It's really kind of a farm. You just have to have all those structures on it. So it's as far as their first public play test, it's got a lot going to it. Again, it's just like Block Lords, where it's focused on your farm or your village, however you want to call it. But they have a lot of quests that you can go ahead and test things out. Works pretty well. They give you a lot of the resources that you need, so you're not overburdened with just trying to gather or grind to gather resources. You have the ability to go ahead and grab those as you're playing. We're going to go ahead over here and see the progress. My vegetables have, probably about 10 minutes, 9 minutes left. And my tree probably has roughly about the same thing, 13 minutes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to kind of play through this. I will be doing more videos on this because I like this. I like the, I would have liked, let me take a step back. I would have liked to try the combat but it's obviously it's not ready yet. Um, excuse me. I would have liked to try that, but as far as what they have available for, again, first play test, it's nice. It looks very interesting, something that I'll probably keep an eye on and check out and probably play a little bit more. Maybe the next play test I'll go ahead and try it out. I don't have I gotta do a new saw every time. All right, that is good to know. So I thought I would be able to use the same saw for all of the items. It looks like every single time I'm gonna have to craft a new saw. So be aware of that. So you do have to craft the items every single time. So I'll go over here and go ahead and craft another saw so I can go ahead and continue that process. It's not only going to let me do one at a time. So what you may want to do is start crafting a saw, start the sawdust, and just keep alternating and going through that process. It does take a little bit of time, but so does every other game. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this? This is, again, Synergy Land, the initial public playtest. A lot more to come with this game, and I will be doing a lot more with this game. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them the best that I possibly can. And I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.